Hello everyone, welcome back to Owen's Treats. For today's episode, I am feeling better. And also we're going to be making s'mores cereal bars. So I've made a few cereal bars before, so I thought I'd make a s'mores version, just because cold weather, warm treat, marshmallows, chocolate, 5 ingredients. It's the easiest thing ever. So that's what we're going to be doing for today's episode. And with that, let's get into our ingredients, our first steps. So for this recipe, it is super simple. It is quite literally just 5 ingredients. So we have our pan cooking spray to spray our pan for later. We have two 10-ounce bags of mini marshmallows, which I have here. And then a half cup of unsalted butter. And then a half teaspoon of salt I have off to the side. And then 9 cups of graham cracker cereal. So I have just this brand here, but you can use any kind of graham cracker cereal, or if you wanted to, you can just use regular graham crackers, but you just have to break them up so they're smaller. And then I have 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and so that's all of our ingredients. For our first step, we're going to be going off to the stove. We're going to heat up our marshmallows and our butter and make a butter marshmallow mixture. So with that, let's get into our first step. Okay, so now that we're over at the stove, we have a large pan here. And what we're first going to do is we're going to melt our butter, and then we're going to stir in our marshmallows. We're going to save half a cup of marshmallows for later, which we'll top our cereal bars with. But for right now, we're going to turn on our stove to low heat. And we're going to take half cup of our unsalted butter, and we're just going to plop it in there. As the butter melts, we're just going to move it around the pan, and I'm going to be using only wooden utensils for this because melted marshmallows does not stick to wooden utensils. And I'm just going to use my wooden spoon to break up the butter into smaller chunks. Just make sure it all gets evenly melted without it automatically burning or browning. We're just going to wait, keep moving around our butter until it is all melted. And you want to keep it on low heat the entire time. So now that our butter is just about melted, we're going to take out our mini marshmallows. And we're going to dump in one of our whole bags. And we're going to use the other bag, but we're going to leave half a cup for later. We're going to use our spatula, our wooden spatula, and we're just going to slowly stir together the butter and the marshmallows until you begin to see the marshmallows begin to melt. Now it's just basically evenly coating our marshmallows with our butter at the bottom, and I'm just waiting for them to turn stringy and begin to melt. All of this on low heat so we don't burn our marshmallow. We're going to just kind of keep continuously stirring until it's all become a kind of a thick marshmallowy paste, and it's all just come together. And so now that our marshmallow mixture is done, we're going to let this cool down just a little bit, and then we're going to spray down a prepared bowl with pan cooking spray, and then we're going to pour our mixture into that bowl. So once it's cooled down a little bit, we're going to take this out of the pan and into our bowl. That's going to be sprayed with a pan cooking spray as we move on to our next step. Alright, so now that we have transferred our marshmallow and butter mixture into our bowl that we sprayed with some cooking spray, just to make sure that it doesn't stick as much, we are going to make our base for our cereal now. So now that we have our marshmallow mixture slightly cooled, we're going to combine our 9 cups of our graham cracker cereal or graham cracker crumbs that we made if you decide to use graham crackers. Just make them into bite-sized pieces. And then very carefully pulling up from the bottom and then laying on the top. We're just going to be mixing in our graham crackers, as well as mixing in half a teaspoon of salt to taste. And then we're just going to start mixing in our graham crackers with our marshmallows. And now that our graham crackers are mostly folded in, we're going to add in 1 cup out of our 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. Leaving half a cup for later use. And don't worry if the chocolate chips begin to melt when you're mixing, because that's kind of what you want. It's a nice combination of some semi-melted chocolate chips. Alright, so now that we have our base for our s'more cereal bars done, we're going to move on to our next step, which is assembling them. And the mixture does look very crazy right now, but it smells incredible and I can't wait to taste this. So we're going to move on to our next step, which is assembling our bars and putting them in the pan. So we have here our s'mores base, and then our half a cup of marshmallows we left on the side, as well as our half a cup of chocolate chips that we also left aside, and I have my pan cooking spray here, which is what you need. And so we're just going to spray down our pan very well, making sure to get all the corners, all the sides, and really spraying the bottom down. And so now that we have that all sprayed, we're going to take our mixture, our base, and we're just going to pour it into our pan. Or we'll scoop it in. As you're doing this, laying it out into a nice even layer. So now we're going to press this down with our spatulas. Really making sure we're trying to get one nice even layer. Everything's connected. And we have no big air pockets of just nothing. Just making sure we're filling those in with our mixture. Now that our base is nice and pressed in, we're now going to finalize this by adding in our marshmallows and our chocolate chips on top. I have our marshmallows down, we're going to add in just a little bit of our chocolate chips on top. And now we're going to press all of that down with our spatulas. So everything gets a nice point of contact and really sticks to our bars. Alright, so now that we have all our bars assembled, there's a few different options from here that you can take to really elevate your bars. Of course, you can add whatever toppings you want on top of your cereal bars. You could add sprinkles if you wanted to, make them birthday themed, whatever you think of. But I'm just doing the regular s'mores. And then, so now here's a few options for you. You can either blow torch the top of your cereal bars, make your marshmallows nice and toasty, give them a little char on the top, and really melt the chocolate on top. That's one option. The second option is to put it in the oven at 350 for 5 minutes, let everything kind of combine together, and give the marshmallows a little puff to them. Or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this straight into our fridge and let them cool. And that's what I'm going to do because I want to eat these. And also because I like the marshmallows to have a little bite to them. So I'm just going to put this into the fridge for 30 minutes. I'm going to let the bar set, and then we can cut out our individual bars and we can try them. choose whatever option you want to do, whatever you want to do to make your bars, however you want to make them, whatever is yummiest for you. So I'm going to put this into the fridge and clean up what I have left. And here is our finished s'more cereal bars out of the fridge. They've been chilling for around 30 minutes and they came out perfect. So thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Owen's Treats. Like I said in the last video, I will have more themed videos coming soon with Valentine's Day coming up and all that. But thank you guys for joining me on another episode, and I'll make sure to see you guys in the next one.